welcome to GT McKay's Cope and Seethe podcast live streaming extravaganza. How the fuck are we? Um, usual schedule for tonight, but it is also, or was, my birthday yesterday. So I hope you brought your wallets, because you know, there's a trip coming up that now let me know if there's an echo on here, because I've got my bathroom door open to get a bit of ventilation going, and I think I can hear it. Oh, he's here. He's on form straight away. 40th. I think that calls for a ban straight away. 40 years old. Come on, look at this face. I mean, it's not what it was, but that's just taking the piss. There's only 3 of you on here. There's 15 of you on here. All Brits under 60 face conscription. You as a British soldier in Russia fighting for Britain, meeting your Russian lover. I'm sure there's a story here somewhere. Come again. It seems that your government is going to pay for your trip to Russia. I haven't heard anything of this. Do tell. I would imagine that would involve me actually joining the army, which would probably defeat the fucking point. Would it not? Because I'd probably be on the border of the Ukraine. I don't want to go there. It's fucking a bombed shithole now. So, well, it gets me a free ticket. Who the fuck's down like? It's my birthday, motherfuckers. Get those likes up. Muhammad, what's going on? I should know. Muhammad Davies. There he is. It's because, yeah, that's true. I'll send me a link or whatever. I'll give it a look. Oh, what? And you're all like well-informed individuals? I don't fucking think so. But well, what have I got on the agenda? Yeah, so on the movie talk, we've got True Detective Night Country episode 2. I figure actually what I'm going to do, because I hate myself, is review every episode. Because I'm going to watch it just out of curiosity. But fuck me gently, I am not impressed at all so far. In fact, I think that it might have to be the first thing up, because that's what she said. Yeah, I need to rant about that. I've got another a film called Time Trap, which was a mistake of going into Google and searching underrated movies Reddit and finding this little gem, shall we say. Not much to say about this particular film, but if you are in the mood for some sort of B-movie sci-fi load of shit, then might be up your alley. And we've got Incel My Ride. I think it's a 20-minute video on that today of a creator who has 2 vids, I believe. And the actual video is 2 years old, but I quite like the kid. So I figured I'd throw him on. And there's so many of these videos out there nowadays. It's kind of mental. It's like, this is the legacy that Elliot Rodger left behind, of just random, not even just dudes. There's some chicks out there who do it as well, who I will feature at some point. But How old am I? Well, you got to guess. You should know because I told you how old I was not that long ago, and it hasn't been that long. Actually, is that might be your surname? Oh, Kieran. I think I'm 10 years older than you. Like, near enough. I think. But I could be wrong. The femoid sentiment. Well, we shall see. I don't think... Oh, hello. £5? Well, actually... I'm going to... Because it's you, I would normally only do this for £10 and above folk. But you have won a spin of the wheel. Painbow, my man. New section, a little bit rough around the edges, I'll admit. But you only get one spin. And there is a possibility of winning something half decent on here. Now, Katie's 30 in March. Yeah. Yeah, not quite 10 years then. Anyway, let's do it. I don't want to procrastinate on this. I apologise. You're... Fuck off, Lane. Oh, you missed it. Oh, you've seen it before anyway. Where the fuck is it? There we go. Boom. I'll tell you what, this better not land on the good thing. There we go. What is it? GC will give you the finger. There you go. Cheers, mate. Happy birthday to me. You want another go? For you, it's a £5 minimum because you are a regular contributor. But for the rest of you, I think it's got to be a tenner. You know what? Actually, I've heard a little rumour that Greta Gerwig is going to be making the live action film of Serial Experiments Lane, which I think would be a fucking disaster and a disgrace, to be honest. And in a weird way, that does segue into the True Detective rant, because I tell you what, I'm actually kind of fuming about it, so I better get to it. Unless someone wants to donate, and I will, of course. I mean, really, I'm not going to get the full £5, but fuck it, I can't be bothered. What, 30% gets taken off, so I get like £3.50. So what would it be? What did it say? 193.50. There you go. They need me on countdown. Yeah, I mean, unless you've contributed in the past, then I will consider. I mean, I'm actually going to build a few of them, so if we get any wild, good donations, then the prizes will actually be far more substantial, whereas the cheaper ones are a bit of a goof. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I'm about 5 minutes ahead of you, but never mind. You tried. Yeah, I've actually nowadays it's weird because when you would watch, say, The Drinker or I don't know, Chris Stuckman or whatever, before Chris Stuckman just started sucking the cock of any movie producer out there, if they slacked off a movie but I was still intrigued, I'd probably still watch it. But with Napoleon, even Flowers of the Killer Moon or whatever it's called, I'm not really bothered. I'm just kind of like, meh, is it worth my time? I don't know whether just Probably not, especially so with Napoleon. Not so much of with the new Scorsese one, because at least it's Scorsese. But then I find he kind of takes the piss these days with his 3.5, 4 hour fucking movies. It's a bit like, dude, I know he's trying to like save the integrity of cinema, but you know, I got better shit to do, and my attention span's been fucked by the internet enough, and I'm someone who reads, so I don't know what it's like for other folk out there. But with even Oppenheimer, if I ever make a video slagging off a director, I think Nolan's going to be the one who comes up first. There's too many complaints, and most overrated director out there, and so open your bum. Hello Tegan, how are we? Okay, well, I will also check the donations on Gmail, just in case. Nothing. You miserly bastards. It's my fucking birthday. At this point, I'm actually thinking this is like one person on with multiple tabs up. Nice pick on that on that one though. Quite like that. Station 11 sounds familiar. That I'm not sure if I've seen it though. Has it got a black guy in it as the lead, or is that? I think that might be a totally different movie, to be honest, but with a similar title. Yeah, for KD it's 100 for having such a lack of taste and respect for literature in general. Doesn't know a good thing when it fucking slaps him in the Chevy Chase. He's an Indian fella. Huh. Don't know it. Well, you're going to have to send her some money to find out. You know the drill, Hawk, at this stage in the game. And it's... Do I need to remind you that it's my fucking birthday? Hey, great channel. Great profile pic. You know what the benefit of a woman with no teeth could be like? Don't we, boys? And that's another one I think's the same. It's like 3 or 4, like half of this audience is like one person. Are you jobless? Oh dear. So you're not only an incel, you're now a NEET, not an employment, education, or training. Oh, it's all gone fucking downhill. Bullshit. I'm calling bollocks. What, did you get fired? All right, we'll discuss this briefly. You didn't donate anything, asshole. I'm not gonna fucking throw you cash. Unless you did, and I missed it. You don't get a freebie. Just a second. Where was I? where was I? PayPal. All right, I need to turn on my notifications at some point because I just don't do it. Oh, hello. Thank you very much. £11.11. Very specific number. Alam Dulilala. Is that? I don't know what that means. Probably something about God, I guess. Right, okay, wheel spin's coming up, and then I'm going to bitch about fucking the fraud that is True Detective, currently on our airwaves. Alright, here we go. You are a good boy. Alright, let me edit this first. So what that make it? 204 pound 61 pence. I knew you'd love the wheel. Alright, let's go. You better not win a book. I'll be pissed off if you win, to be honest. GC needs the money. I know you're raking that fucking cash in. Like, because you got a shit ton of views. Well done for your Muslim maxing. And I reckon you've... be honest, I'd like to know how much you've made from that. I reckon about maybe 500-ish in total. Alright, let's do this. Boom! Oh, there you go, mate. Double or quits. You want some more? Is that? I haven't put that twice, have I? That's just come up. That's the spin, mate. I'm afraid that's how it goes. You got your own special finger, so I don't want any bitching. It's if you want to complain, let me find, because I was looking at the write your complaints to a Miss Ming Huang at myh@live.com. She is the I'm assuming it's probably it's a guy, right? It's got to be a guy. The author of this lovely little design. Hey, if you want another, all right, I'll be generous. If you throw me another £5, you'll get another spin. No, I'm not. I can't spin without any dollar coming my way. You've got to respect it. You've got to trust the GC. Would I lie to you? Come on. What, you think I've created my own fucking rigged wheel to never land? No, I said he'll get a second one if he throws a £5 into the pot. He ain't getting a freebie. It's my birthday. I can't be giving away shit. I mean, I'm broke enough as it is. So again, we'll leave it a little while. Did I like the show Narcos? Yeah, I did. Thanks for asking. I actually really enjoyed it, if you want to know. I think it only had 3 seasons, right? But there was one I actually thought it was excellent. And I was kind of gutted it didn't carry on, but they probably knew when to go out, or go out on a high, and I thought they did a very good job of that. Overall, it might not have been season 3 though. It might have been season 2. I can't quite remember. There was one where the tension was just fucking rife for like 3-4 episodes on the bounce, and you know there were so many different plot lines going on, but they were all interconnected, and really good acting and stuff. I actually might give it another watch at some point, because I'm currently rewatching the first season of Fargo, because I really enjoyed the 5th season, and I wanted to see Billy Bob as that fucking complete psycho loony again. And yeah, it holds up pretty well, to be honest. You can't complain that it's fixed. There's only like 20 choices, so that, of course it's like, have you ever fucking had a bet on a roulette wheel? The same number can come up twice. There's no memory, so any option can potentially come up again. Think about it. Viewers should dictate what goes on with the wheel. I will take. All right, that will be an option. So, just because I'm generous, let me just work this out because this thing is rubbish. Actually, I'll let you see it. So, I select. Let me have a look at this. Right. Winner chooses prize for wheel. But yeah, I'm the daddy here, by the way. I will decide if you give a stupid suggestion or something where I'm supposed to whack off on screen or, you know, give away thousands of pounds or something. Like, obviously, that's not going to happen. But if you're a rational human being, I will allow you to come up with another prize. All right? But just be reasonable about it. Boom. There it is. Let's just... I'll check my... Just checking my emails. So there's nothing new. So no wheel. This my poor lonely wheel just wants to be, you know, spun around. But I can't be spinning when you know the deal. The wheel needs some coins. You can't tell a fucking fruit machine to spin. You got to put some coinage in there. You had your little go, and you got your prize. I don't know what you want moaning about. Yeah, I especially love just his acting in it's great. There's one bit I was actually thinking I might have a section where we look at scenes from different films or series and just like analyze it from like what exposition it's giving through the dialogue and like how it's creating the atmosphere, the types of filming and stuff. So that would be kind of good stuff, hopefully. But yeah, the one where he goes to visit the guy who he is going to kill in the first episode, or at least he's like staking him out and that. And the guy asks him like, "Oh, you know, who's asking for me?" as he's walking down when he's the one who asked for him. And he just kind of like he looks around the garage and he just stares at him and goes, "Me." It's fucking brilliant. Like he's got this the beats he gives in the performance are just really good, and I've got to give it to Martin Freeman as well. I think he's actually brilliant in that series. Really proves his worth. I've already said you can fucking guess how old I am, but thanks, Romeo. Is that actually your name? Romeo Santos. I mean, you better be a good-looking brother with that kind of name, because yeah, your parents might have pulled a number over on you. It's got to be a tenner. It's got to be a tenner. I've already said for you it's 5, and KD can get another spin if he coughs up another. Just let one of your kids fucking not eat for a night. I've seen you. So I'm sure one of them could stand to miss a meal as well. Not being funny. Just Throw me their Happy Meal money and you'll get another spin. Look how entertained you are. You're outraged by my rigged wheel. Now you need to find out. I'm like a carnival act now, where I've got pseudo criticism on one hand, and then on the other, gambling. So can't say I have, fair nor. But if you spin the wheel, you might be able to recommend me something. I would say no, but I need to rewatch the original film. But yeah, it's a similar kind of premise, I suppose. They're all crime related, but there's usually a kind of theme going on throughout it. You know, it's good, man. I recommend. I reckon you dig it. Just for Billy Bob and Martin Freeman alone, it's worth the watch because there's some good moments in it, and even Tom Hanks's kid, he's not bad in it, and all of them actually, I'd say. Good on you. Good. If you want like a motivator, I could be like your drill sergeant, and all it'll cost you is the small price of £10 a spin. Really? You're taking the piss. I mean, I think it's admirable that you're trying to lose weight, but getting a job at McDonald's kind of tells me, I don't know. You're playing with fire there a little bit, mate. I would have thought. You must be looking at those McFlurries. Those double quarter cheese pounders with bacon. Those fries. Just frying up in that veggie oil. It's a fucking recipe for disaster. I've actually heard it's alright working there though, funnily enough, which I can't quite believe, but apparently they don't treat their staff that badly. It's just a shit. I'll send you a photo in my uniform for a free spin. What do we? I'll put this to the chat. Do we want to see this? I mean, I've seen arseholes in fucking McDonald's uniforms. It's nothing special. Can't you send me like a coupon or something? What kind of exercises are you doing then to shed the weight? Anyway, I'm losing my mojo. Well, actually, I sit corrected. Hawk he's donated £3.60. Why are you trying to fuck with me? I don't get this. I told you it's a fiver. Okay. Oh, okay. Hello, Daniel. I assume you're watching, mate. A 10 has gone in. Thank you very much. Hello, hello, hello. I mean, if you're out there, mate, you can either say so or not. But I've got to, got to honour the spin. We've got another spin coming. Oh wait, I'll add to the fund. Fucking hell, this is hard work. This is. I'm earning this money right here. Right, let's do it, and then I'll move on. Maybe if people want to keep throwing me. How much is a fiver in US dollars? Let's just call it an even $10. It's about $7.50, I reckon, but I'm not quite sure if I'm honest. Boom. You may ask me a question, Daniel. Any question you want. You can either send it via email if you're, chat shy, which I totally understand. I mean, they're a bunch of animals. Let's face it. So yeah, ask away, my friend. if you care to, you don't have to ask. But yeah, one question that is for you. I mean, to be honest, I don't mind if this is the new stream. I'll just come on, and I'll just spin the wheel. I'll call it the Spin the Wheel podcast. That's the kind of entertainment people want nowadays. Oh, Hawk, I might actually have something for you. I've got a few things for you in the future, but one of them I think would be best served if you actually came on the stream, and I will find you your future wife. Can't give any more details, but if you're interested, the invite is there, and it won't be. I won't just throw you some frumpy hit the wall whatever. We'll find you a good, wholesome American woman, and guaranteed this is as well. Like no fucking about. You just have to agree to come on the show. But in the meantime, if you want to get a bit of practice in, there's a new app out there called Parallel Lives, right? And what it is an AI put together program where, say you're in the pub, or dare I suggest in a club or something like that. You load the app up and you make out that you're live streaming. And this has got an overlay, for Insta or TikTok, whatever fucking app you want to use it for. And it will basically say that you've got 40,000 people watching you. And there's AI generated comments just constantly fucking going up. And then you just smooth you on up to some chick that takes your fancy. And you just say, all you have to say is, do you want to be on my stream for a second? She'll see the likes and the emojis and the viewers and all of that, and assuming she's a shallow piece of shit because she's in a nightclub, then you will be in there straight away. You don't need to worry about anything. You don't have to have personality, you don't have to have game, you just have to seem like, for some fucking reason, you're famous. And then you'll be lapping up the gash. And this will be a very easy way of you. Never mind all this dating bullshit. You can just start clapping in the middle of the club. And then obviously, when they find out that you're not famous, you should be out of the door already. You just got to wake up a bit earlier in the morning. The trickier bit would be still keeping the jig going when you take her back to your bedsit of a flat or wherever you live. So you might have to put a bit of money aside for a hotel to at least make it seem like you're raking in the cash as well. But yeah, it's out there, my friend. You've got to play the game, and this is a meta way of doing so. It's a fake app for a fake life online, and I think this is probably your only hope, except for my strategy. But you have to come on the You have to come on the show for that. But yeah, I mean, this is... oh, hello. Oh, Tegan. Oh. Bestow my wheel spin to KD so he'll kindly shut the fuck up and stop whining. There you go. That's very generous. So, courtesy of Tegan, KD, you've just got a free spin, mate. Free spin. Only one spin. If he wanted 3, you should have sent him £5 individually. I don't make the rules, but this is how it works. The donation equates to 1 spin. Okay? Unless it's an exceptionally high one, then you might get a few. But in general, 1. So let's do it. For you, KD. As you've been bitching. Like, see, I told you bitching gets you somewhere in the end. People don't believe me, but... Boom! I need some sound for this. There you go. I can't see myself. I'll do this on the home. 2 middle fingers for you. There you go. See, look, you already doubled your fucking winnings here. This is like, this is heaven. I hope you can click this up if you want and show off on your channel, because I'm sure you're struggling for ideas now that you've, you know, run out of Quran shit and Salah mats to pray on and all of that kind of stuff. You can give me a like as well for the trouble. It would help if we could read the fucking things. You're not watching this on your widescreen TV? Yeah, you're allowed to clip it up as well. Like I permit you to, and I won't claim the copyright on it. That's just the kind of guy I am. So, anyways, this has been a lovely birthday so far, I must say. Not because of you lot, but because of a very special Russian girl. For reasons that I shall not be forthright with. My English is getting worse already. What movie do I recommend when you're on ecstasy? Huh. Well, I mean, I'd recommend Getting Laid, if that was a possibility, Mr. D Flat. If you're wasting an E on watching films, I don't really know what to say to you, in all honesty. I don't know, in all honesty. I mean, the fact that you're going to be euphoric and all of that. Train Spotting. That'll do you. Because at least then you can kind of feel glad about yourself that you're not shooting heroin. And it might come across as a kind of feel-good movie. I honestly don't know. Oh yeah, update the fund. Cheers for the reminder. What would that be? 229. We're getting there. We're nearly halfway. I reckon we could get halfway at least, if not the whole way. Requiem for a Dream, yeah, that could work. I'll just put this out there. We could do it as a threesome if you want. If you're shy about coming on the stream with just me, which I'd understand. I mean, look at how embarrassed and awkward KD was. But yeah, having a female present could be useful. But I feel like you should pay for this service. So it's either with me and I will get you your future wife, or if you want the kind of couples counselling version or couples life coaching version, 50 quid. Which is a bargain, by the way. That's the mates' rates, you know. See, look, I could sell tickets to this shit as well. I'll cut you in on the tickets, so you'll get 6% of the profits. 6. Okay. Oh, Danny boy. Nice. Did you have a question? Oh, you had a question. That is your question. I'll give you another if you want, because I didn't take it too seriously. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend, if you're able to get it up, that is. I'm not sure how easy that would be on E. I guess would be fine. I think it would be fine. Depends on the chick, doesn't it, right? Am I right? But anyway, I'll check. You know, this isn't part of the plan. I'm supposed to be only doing 2 hours. But, you know, there's a lot of love coming my way. Coming being the operative word. Let's do it. I might skip the other movie. In fact, I'll go with this fucking movie first. So yeah, this is one that I stupidly Googled for underrated films on Reddit, which is that's a spin the wheel scenario itself. I have come across 1 or 2 okay films, or at least ones with interesting premises or ambition, I suppose. But for the most part, they've been shit. And for the life of me, I can't really figure out why they would recommend it. But yeah, this is one. You probably would have never heard of this if it wasn't for me. So look at that this fucking app, man, ruins my transitions. I might complain and try and get a discount or something. Time Trap. I think this was written by 2 dudes. It definitely was written by 2 dudes. And it starts off with this kind of, I think he's an archaeologist of some sort. Or a geologist. I can't really remember. But he's in this like desert kind of area with caves and shit. And he seems to be intrigued by the opening of a particular cave. And as he's drawn to it, his dog's going mental. You know, as a dog would do. Sensing, obviously, there's something wrong. And he looks in it and he sees a dude, but he's basically like frozen. He doesn't notice this, of course. But before all of this happened, he basically told his students, who were all, you know, attractive people, basically. I think that was the criteria to get in this film. Be attractive. And that's all you kind of need to... Unless you're a kid, then you can be a bit chunky or whatever. But if you're of fuckable age, you better be slim and decent looking. And he tells them, he doesn't want any help on this expedition for some reason, even though he needs to spelunk his fucking way down the caves and whatnot. You'd think a helping hand would come in handy, but alas, he doesn't bother with that, and he disappears basically. Then the students start thinking, "Oh, where's the professor? Like, where did he go?" So they decide to all go there to try and find him. And then there's this whole thing about he lost his parents to this cave, or at least they disappeared at one point. And so they go there, and for some reason, like, one of the women brings along her sister. I don't really know why. Apparently she just loves filming shit. So this is a perfect opportunity for her, probably for her social media or whatever. And then this other kid, who, I don't know why, to be honest, but he was a young one. And they referenced the Goonies at one point, needlessly, but I actually think the only reason he was in it was because he looked slightly like the chunky kid in the Goonies. And so they find the cave, and then they kind of realise there's something a bit weird going on with it. Because there's like moisture in the air and all this stuff. And lo and behold, they find themselves deep into the recesses of said cave. And it's fucking massive and all this stuff. And then it seems like someone's cut the ropes off because they just suddenly fall down. And then there's this weird light, you know, in the geyser or whatever of one of them. And it just keeps flickering. And they don't really pay too much attention to it at the beginning. It's just a bit odd. And as the title would suggest, they are stuck in a time warp of sorts where time inside the cave is moving in the linear fashion that we are all accustomed to. But up above, time is moving. That flicker of light and whatnot turns out to be time just fucking ripping through the stratosphere, as it were. And they kind of take ages to figure that out. And then, it just gets goofier and goofier from here on out, basically. I didn't really understand what they were recommending, except for a mildly intriguing premise. But then there was the characters in it were just literally there like, okay, we'll have two skinny, pretty doable blondes. And that was it. All they did was moan. And the guy who was with them, for some reason, didn't seem interested in them sexually, even though he was probably their kind of type, which I didn't get. But then they also had this other bit with the kid, who probably was the best one of the lot, actually, in terms of acting. Because he stays behind because he's a bit of a puss. But obviously, with the time differences going on, he's wondering what's happening. Obviously, he can't drive back because he's about 11. And he starts documenting it, and through a series of events, they get hold of this and watch it back, and that's when they realise that they're in some sort of time warp. And from there, we've got like weird future people who visit, and then they've also got cave people in the film for some fucking reason. And then it gets into all this fountain of youth stuff, blah blah blah. Very weird and pretty stupid movie, which I couldn't really believe got the go-ahead to get made. But that's it, really. It's kind of intriguing, but the last half an hour or so is just dreadful. And the ending was just pure cringe. The dialogue's, again, dreadful. Weird film. Weird movie. Don't recommend it. There you go. That's my review of Time Trap. I think it was actually on Netflix at one point, which is unreal, the kind of shit they're putting on there. But I guess the intriguing part, at least, was the ambition of it, I suppose, or at least seeming ambition, let's say, because it was, well, shooting for the stars, shall we say. Considering its budget and whatnot, some of the CGI isn't bad, and the pacing for the most part was all right. But I felt kind of sorry for the actors because you couldn't really tell if they were any good or not because they weren't really there to be people. They were just there to serve the plot. And yeah, just kind of came across as a bit moany or whatever, especially the women, or one of them. And the only thing I found really odd about it was like the way the younger kid kept flirting with one of the women in it, if not both. And I just kept wondering, like, why is that in there? And it was almost as if the directors or writers themselves were kind of seeing or identifying with that kid more than they were the Chad type character that was in there who makes no moves and seems completely disinterested in these two girls that are in it. And it was just like, yeah, odd. I kind of felt like they were living vicariously through this 11-year-old boy, and yet I didn't understand why that was the first thing that came to mind. There is a hippie van, yeah, there is. It's fucking shit. KD's off. Has he gone? I thought he might contribute a bit more, you know. Get another spin. Go for the hat trick. Yeah, it's one of those films that's like the premise is all right, at least. Like it kind of looks like it might be intriguing or somewhat philosophically interesting or whatever, but it completely caves, you know, on that premise and just becomes a bit of a farce towards the end of it, where you just left wondering, like, what? So some of these folk have been down in this cave for like millions of years, like literally 200 million years, and you kind of think, how the hell did they reproduce and stuff like that? How do they eat? And like all these little. But then again, they do have the fountain of youth to just anytime they're near death's door, they just jump in that, and then they're all right for a bit longer. But yeah, really weird movie. Anyway, on to the one I actually want to talk about. Boom! True Detective should not be called True Detective. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Night Country. Well, in a nutshell, rubbish. So many issues with this, but the major one I have is that this episode in particular is, I mean, basically it's a sequel to the first season, and it makes no subtle references to this whatsoever. In fact, it's in basically near enough every scene. You see the spiral symbol from the first season all the fucking time, and the Tuttle family that was behind that. It's just referenced everywhere. If people have got tattoos of it, they see it in the snow. It's just randomly just pattered around everywhere to make it as obvious as possible. And not only that, but there's even parts of the script that directly take from the first season, which I can't quite believe. If I was Pizzolatto, I would sue. He has no involvement in this, and he actually says so on his Instagram. He says it's not Night Country. It's got nothing to do with him, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was him who insisted that it have a subtitle, because the rest of the seasons don't. But this one is hijacking the original, at least so far. I'll give it its due, or at least like benefit of the doubt. Maybe it will chill out on all this bullshit and actually tell a fucking story in the remaining 4 episodes. But I'm not going to hold my breath, because there's a bit at the beginning where there's this old woman who sees dead people, and of course the Native American character in it believes in all this kind of stuff, and they're discussing it as if it's just real. Just real. Just like this is just something that happens. So it hijacks the supernatural element of the first season But instead of doing it through the lens of someone who has mental difficulties and is on drugs and is hallucinating, so therefore you can differentiate between the reality and the hallucination. In this one, it's just, oh, that's just how it is. It's an ancient myth, but of course it's real because we have to respect the indigenous people and all this kind of stuff. So that's already a red flag on this season, and it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to know whether it should actually go all in with this or it's just teasing it a bit. Maybe, I'll put my hand up. Maybe it will actually do the correct thing and make it out, to be something not based in reality. But thus far, it seems to be going along with it as if it's just a fact of the fucking scientific world and all this kind of stuff. And this woman starts talking about how she sees her dead husband and he stops in for the night. And I could be getting some of this wrong, but she basically talks about her last time with him, and it drops that his name was something Cole, so you're Trevor Cole or something. And so it's already like, oh, this is Russ Cole's dad. It's actually trying to make you believe this kind of stuff. So that could have been forgiven. Like, I don't mind a kind of slightly self-referential kind of thing, or at least hint of something like that, so long as they don't fuck with it too much. But then you get all of this spiral stuff, and then at another point Jodie Foster's character is talking to this young rookie kind of cop who she's guiding to become a policeman, and she's or a detective, and she's constantly just saying, ask another question. That's the wrong question. Ask another question. Because so he's looking at the crime scene and he's trying to ascertain like why someone might do this, A, B, C, and the other. What's the emotion behind it? Ask another question. That's the wrong question. And for those aficionados of the show, the only season of True Detective worth thinking about, there's an episode. I think it might be the first one or the second, but can't remember. Where Russ Cole at the end of the episode tells the black dudes, well, why don't you start asking the right fucking questions? Mic drop, episode ends. And yet this season is using that one line to try and make out as if it's like being some sort of profound statement or whatever. And it's rubbish. It's shitting all over the first season, in my opinion. And it comes across as fan fiction. That's all I can really see it as. It's this Issa Lopez, who is the writer and director of every episode, also made a Mexican film that I watched a few months back, planning maybe to review it, but I thought it sucked, called Tigers Are Not Afraid. And yeah, even just based off of that movie, I probably wouldn't be that intrigued by any of her other efforts. And it's only through doing a bit of research that I realise, oh, it's this person. And the idea of that film isn't bad. It's these kind of homeless kids who are slumming it in this, poverty-stricken areas and vicinities of Mexico. I'm not quite sure where. And then they utilize graffiti, but the graffiti sometimes turns into animations and there's kind of a fairy tale-esque element to it and all that stuff. And you'd think from the beginning of it that you couldn't make this boring, and somehow Lopez did. And very forgettable film, unfortunately, that had some nice elements to it, but it couldn't be saved. And it really feels like that's what's going to happen with this season. And I haven't even mentioned all the woke bollocks in it, because it's, the two leads are basically women who might as well be walking around with fucking 20-inch strap-on black cocks the whole time. It's ridiculous. Like, instead of having a bat on, they should just have a massive dildo. If they're going to be a parody of the first season and of the political gender climate, you might as well go the whole fucking hog with it. It's ridiculous. There's a sex scene, or there's two sex scenes in this so far that I can't see any relevance, like, apart from let's just have them fuck like dudes in in a couple of scenes. And Jodie Foster's fucked every guy in town and apparently that's important. I don't know why, but it's in there. And there was another scene where she's asking another dude she fucked who was I think he's Indian or something like that, or at least like his heritage is, but he's American. And he explains like what these 10 scientists were doing, what their research was, and he uses a phrase like cellular re-energy, basically, is what they were trying to find deep in the fucking core of the earth and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, tell me in English, you asshole, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, for one thing, he didn't say anything particularly difficult to understand, because it's just like, yeah, they're clearly searching for basically the cure to cancer or the cure to any illness. There's something that's supposedly, down there somewhere, and yet they have to like belittle it. And one of the major differences that I can't believe that they've overlooked is that you can have leading characters who are kind of dicks or whatever, or at least antagonistic and challenging and stubborn and all of these kind of unfavorable traits, but they have to have a human element to them. Whereas so far, these two just come across as complete fucking arseholes. Especially Foster's character, who only has empty sex, is openly racist to everyone involved, and completely shits over pretty much everyone, including her own daughter and whatnot. And it's just like, there's no charm, there's no charisma, there's no philosophical insights, and she's a fucking idiot because she doesn't even understand the word cellular. So it's like, I don't know what they're trying to go for in this season at all thus far. And to be honest, her partner as an actress, I mean, she's not an actress. You can tell, and she's just very one tone, pretty monotonous, like a dude who doesn't speak much, basically. She's all right, and I'm not going to completely shit over her, but the character again is just lacking. I'm not sure why we're supposed to give a shit about this past case that apparently she cares about, but we don't really have any reason to care about it ourselves. And it's just like, you look at that first season and you think, how are they getting this so wrong? How are they fucking this up? And the other thing is, like, it was annoying enough to hear Billie Eilish's that fucking song that's used in everything as the intro song, because it's like, come on, this is True Detective, don't fucking... But it's not True Detective. That's the problem. It's a fucking show masquerading as True Detective, because so far this is fan fiction. This is bullshit. I can't believe this has been funded and approved of and whatnot. But it also, I mean, there's a scene where the Spice Girls plays. The fucking indigenous bitch puts the car radio on as she's cruising, and she hears "If You Want to Be My Lover," and she starts singing it out of time as well. She kind of gets it wrong, but then she's voice messaging her sister about how it's their song, and it's like, how dare you put fucking Spice Girls in a True Detective season? Like, this is shambolic. Like, this is offensive. Like, I'm appalled. Honestly, Pizzolatto should fucking sue this season for defamation thus far, just based on these opening 2 episodes, because this is a disgrace. The fact that you're referencing Russ Cole, no, fuck off. You're not allowed to reference Russ Cole in the same breath. You're not even allowed to think about Russ Cole in this, and yet you've got all the spirals. You're referencing the Tuttle family, like it's all there. It's like, and yet it doesn't earn any of it. It's a disgrace so far. It might actually. I reckon this will be the worst season made, and will probably be the end of True Detective as we know it. Terrible. That's my 2 cents. And I think I've complained about everything I wanted to complain about. And yet, well, if I was going to give a plus to it, I think the most interesting character is Ennis, which is the town in which it's located. That's probably the best thing about the show. The cinematography is great. I like how gritty and atmospheric the whole thing is, but the story is just, it's not that it's really bad, but it's just, so far it hasn't really settled into anything. You've got a lot of side characters, and for a season that is only 6 episodes, I'm just really curious, like, how are they going to fucking connect all of this? Because most of the time it just seems like, oh, we've got the kind of queer girl who's discovering her identity. Oh, great. That's exactly what we want to see in a fucking gritty crime drama. It's almost as if it's just utilizing... In fact, I'm sure that's why it's doing it. It's just using this backdrop. So it's stealing the indigenous or the Native American folklore and myth to bring it into modernity so she can be finding her identity through being fucking a lesbian and eating pussy. And that's it. And it's just like it's trying to disguise it when really all it's showing is like, oh, it's another lesbian relationship. Oh, okay, brilliant. And yet, for some reason, we're supposed to buy that because Jodie Foster and this other chick are straight, apparently, even though they fuck as if they have cocks. So it's like really weird so far. And I quite like the guy who's like being tutored by Foster, and some of those scenes are quite good. I thought the kind of corpsicle, if you want to call it that, it's like an amalgamation of bodies that are frozen and all died in this like moment of hysteria, and that's what they're kind of investigating. They're the scientists who were out there isolated for years, and the thing that spooked them is the reason they're dead, but one of them's missing, and they suspect obviously that he had something to do with their demise. And that looked great, like structurally, like a little bit like in the Hannibal series, where Hannibal had made this kind of piece of art essentially out of corpses, and like visually speaking it's quite something to behold. But that's the only compliment I can give it. There's the occasional song that kind of works, way too many with vocals though, and way too many with female vocals, and I just get the real sense that this, I don't. Maybe it's more to do with the producers and whatnot, and the blah blah blah. But it's just, it feels so intentional when a woman starts singing in one of the songs, and they have a bit of Florence and the Machine. And I quite like Florence and the Machine, in small doses. But even lyrically, it was so obvious what it was doing with it. It was just like, oh, why are they doing this? What have they done to my boy? Look how they massacred my boy. It's a disgrace. It's I'm fuming. Still fuming. I watched this on fucking Monday, and I've just been like pent up about it, going like, what the fuck have I just watched? It's like a fucking B-movie porn version so far, without the fucking thank fuck. But it's, my mind is like blown by how the hell it's been made, because it's also boring. It commits the fucking criminal sin of just being dull. It's like these things are going on for characters that you couldn't give a fuck about, and it's like, did they not realise that Russ Cole was actually fascinating to watch? Never mind whether you agreed with him or if you found him charismatic or whatever. Like, he had a way with words. He played with it. Like, he knew he was playing a game quite a lot of the time. And even Marty, like, they're back and forth. It's like there's a tension there, but then there's also, they have their own philosophy of like, they're detectives who are doing good despite them knowing that it was going to do no good. It was like there was a courage to it. Whereas these arseholes just, I can't understand what their motive is thus far, except for being career obsessed, funnily enough. And that seems to be all it is. There's nothing to do with honour and integrity and paying back a debt and whatnot, and even trying to atone for their past sins and what. None of that. It's the typical thing with what they do with female characters now, where they're supposedly great because they're women. It's ridiculous. It's fucking shit. No, no, not even a hint. I could put up with it if it was relevant. That's the thing. When it's not relevant, it pisses me off. I don't give a shit about people's sexual proclivities. Have at it. Go for it. But you can't have sex scenes in a movie or a TV series unless there's relevance to the fucking plot. It was relevant in the first season of True Detective because Alexandra Daddario was the one who ruined Marty's marriage. And it was symbolically foreshadowed by the fact that she cuffs him to the bed, trapping him. He's caught. It literally is there for a reason. It serves the plot. And also you get to see them titties. But in this, you're just seeing an old, crinkly Jodie Foster demanding that a dude doesn't come too quick. It's just like, why is this here? Why? I don't need to see this. This is like fucking Clockwork Orange shit where I'm just like being forced. I mean, thank God she keeps her bra on. That's all I'll say. Because there would be no need to show those puppies off. And again, yeah, I actually would honestly call it a parody of fucking True Detective. That's how annoyed I am by it. No, they're just fucking butch detectives. That's all they really are. Pretending that they're not lesbians. I'm guessing it will go through to the end and then they quickly brush it under the carpet because they're already going on about like how it's being review bombed and whatnot by a bunch of fucking misogynists and all this stuff. And it's like, no, look at the show. Like it's badly done. The dialogue is awful a lot of the time. There's no wit to it at all. Like all the especially the female detectives, they've just got to be in their bonnet for no fucking reason. It's like, at least if you're going to be like blatantly pointing to the white man and going like, oh, this is clearly the white men, then at least fucking have balls about it and actually make it part of the show. Whereas so far it seems to be just dancing around this or just subtly hinting at it. And it's just like, well, if you're going to do that, at least fucking have the courage to be honest. It just feels very I don't think I've seen a show that has been so like a political agenda is there, but it's like coveted, like, or no, covert. It's like it's there, but it's like they're just dancing around it a little bit. They're not quite saying it, so they're just sprinkling a bit here and there and then so every white dude in it is a fucking idiot or he's just out for himself. But it's not. It's just edging a little, And yeah, Foster's character is clearly a bit of a racist, but no one ever says it, kind of thing. And maybe there's a reason for the way that she is, and she clearly isn't actually a racist because she's fucked one of these dudes and has had his kid, or their kid, and now she kind of treats her like a daughter, but also not at the same time. It's just like there's nothing gripping me in these characters at all. It's like I'm supposed to care about them. Why? With Russ Cole, his daughter's died pretty early on, and he's clearly struggling with that. And it's brilliant because it just lingers. It's not something that's focused on like, oh, I'm a victim and that kind of stuff. It's just there, and you kind of realize, a lot of his insights into the world and whatnot is because he's grieving and also suffering from, mental, struggles and whatnot. So it's it disgusted me, that episode. But on a funny note, Ryan Gosling got nominated for an Oscar while Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie got snubbed. Good. Anyway, back to Spin the Wheel, right? I assume. I assume you want to see that wheel being spun. Apparently not. Apparently not. Well, thank you, Albert. Is that still Albatross or Albatrosse? Good name. I'm glad you watched one of my older vids. Because yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with this fucking channel. I don't know what to do with this channel anymore. Like I'm liking the movie reviews, and then one does quite well, and then another one is fucking as bad as if I had no subs. Like, I don't understand how it works. I'm at a loss. And yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll keep going, but there's part of me thinking like maybe I should just do some like essay shit at some point, just for variety or whatever. But I don't know. It's tricky. Making these videos is a bitch, and it's more fun doing the film ones, or at least like they're kind of easier in terms of it's just a voiceover with visuals, and I can just play around with that. Whereas when I do ones that are more essay based or whatever, they're a different requirement, and I don't. And to be honest, all of those have just tanked anyway. So, well, exactly. Well put. Well put. Oh, Maestro, is that another fucking awful one? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it is a bit of a fucking eyesore, I agree. Tegan. I know it's you because of the Michelle Pfeiffer pick, but... I mean, yeah, exactly. I'd be fuming if I was him. Like, I actually wonder whether... maybe he took a massive check for it, you know, big payday. Just to let them shit all over his fucking original creation, because I can't imagine he's read the script and thought, yeah, this looks all right. I'd be proud to. Well, of course he's not proud to be associated with it, because even now on the credits it's like based on the, you know, original True Detective. And I don't know, man. I just feel like this show needs to be remembered just for the first season. They should kind of, like, you know, the way DC held back Batgirl. What they should try and do is actually take back everything they've done for True Detective and just call it a day. You know, don't even think about trying to do another season, because you already fucked it up twice, and now you've let a bunch of morons take over it who clearly have no fucking idea what they're doing and are more interested in trying to preach pride nonsense or gender identity crap, whilst at the same time not do that. So it's like, wait, I should try and be cooler, shouldn't I, really? Oh yeah. Well, it's good to have you. It's good to have you. You may. You may. Since you asked so nicely. Of course, I would never normally do this, but since we're here, and I've only got one section to go, and I would hope to get this stream done by 10, but maybe 1:15. Remember, it is my birthday, so if anyone wants to donate, feel free to do so. Okay, you've won. You're allowed to pick a GIF or GIF, however you pronounce it, for the super chat, basically. So that means one of your choice, any of your choice, and I'll even make one for you. You know. And so if someone donates a certain amount, that is what will flash up. So let me know what you'd like that to be. And yeah, we'll sort it out. Thank you very much. I think it might have been the first person who said that for quite a while. Hope you're doing well. You're very welcome. My honor. Are you requesting that I mellow myself out? I did watch your video that you sent me, by the way. And I'm not sure, did you send me that because I was talking about ChatGPT at some point, or at least like, because it was weird that you sent it to me, maybe because I was too drunk to remember, but there was actually going to be something I was going to rant about. But I've kind of lost my mojo for it, but maybe I'll try and include it at one point. But if I was to give a brief summary of it, I think people who use ChatGPT or Midjourney and whatnot to create things, I think they are the scum of the earth, essentially, and should actually probably go to prison or be lashed publicly for utilizing such methods, because they are frauds. They're kind of like, they're not even leeches, because a leech at least steals the blood of its host for its own advantage. They're a leech of the leech, basically. So if you're using these things to create, especially things like Midjourney, but ChatGPT as well, the very creativity that you're drawing from is from people throughout history, and yet you're doing so through a medium that is programmed to give the most banal fucking responses and inoffensive gobbledygook. And I feel like you should probably kill yourself if you are someone who's using that and then still telling other people that you're an artist, because you are everything wrong with the industry of the creative, essentially. And you should realize that fact and simply become an accountant or a coder or a fireman or woman, something simple, because you're making out as if you're something you're not. And the very act of using something like ChatGPT proves that. Yeah, kill yourself. Or kill yourself mentally by succumbing to your limitations. And yeah, get a job at Poundland or something that won't require any thinking, because clearly thinking isn't your thing. You can be a retard and be creative, but if you're trying to actually come up with stuff and pawn it off as creativity, you're out of your depth. And the fact that you're utilizing the work of other people through the fucking, I don't want to call it brain, because all it is artificial intelligence, which isn't even that intelligent. It's just a bunch of information that it's amalgamated and filtered through to come across as if it's in some way intelligent. It's not a, something, an all seeing, all knowing kind of entity, which I think a lot of people are going to be treating it more and more like. It is basically something that's sponged off of the human soul to create, to somewhat, or at least paraphrase Stephen Fry in the video. Yeah, that's probably all I have to say about it, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, you're less than a cockroach for using that kind of thing, and especially if you're not even acknowledging it, you're just making out it's your own fucking creation, which has happened. There was a piece of art that won, I think, some sort of prestigious award, and then it turned out it was actually made by AI, and the guy actually had the audacity to claim that it was still his creation because he came up with the idea. Coming up with the idea is not creating fucking anything. The ideas, everyone has ideas. It's like the same way if you tell people you write fiction or whatever, and they're like, oh, you should see my workplace. Oh, there's a book in it there, I'll tell you, or if you knew my life story, there's a book there. It's like, that's the same thing. Having that idea and then pawning it off to other people. So essentially, it's like you're ghostwriting, but through the medium of a non-thinking entity that is just dishing out things because it's gathered information. There's nothing creative about it whatsoever. It's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy that has been regurgitated, recycled. You're basically like, you know how a mother bird will bring back the worm or whatever to feed her young, but because they're fucking young and stupid and probably blind and whatnot, they don't know what they're doing. They don't even know how to chew. So the animal will eat the meal, chew it up, swallow it, and then force themselves to vomit and into the mouth of their kid or young'un, offspring, whatever phrase you want, and they gobble it down. You are basically like worse than that. You swallow down the regurgitated goods of someone who did it 500 years ago or whatever, but then you're also throwing it up again yourself, re-swallowing it, putting it to a computer, the computer swallows that, then you re-swallow that, throw it up again. Basically, that's all you are. So when I call you a cockroach or a leech, that I don't really think I'm being hyperbolic, basically. Like, I'm not exaggerating. That's exactly what you are. In terms of artistic integrity, or even just creativity in general, having the idea means fucking nothing. It's like the blood, sweat and tears that went into the most brilliant pieces. You've just basically treated as if it's a turd that you need to eat and throw up until it looks like a vague idea of your original conception, which again you're going to claim is your idea, which is so vague it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And the fact that you could even then claim that it was, you were the brainchild of it, the fuck do you get off with that? Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch all of it to be honest, but yeah, those are my thoughts. And yeah, well, it is inside my ride time, but I mean, no new donations, so I'll be back. I need to piss. I'll turn this off so you can wallow in the silence. That's where you're wrong, Hawky boy. There's AI. It's not art. I mean, come on. We've got to define it as a human endeavor. I mean, maybe in the very, very distant future, if there is such thing as artificial intelligence from a cognitive or consciousness perspective, then the debate can be reopened. But for now, it is just stolen goods shat out through the Nazi arses of fucking code bros and whatnot, who were basically just getting away. I mean, it's kind of funny. We're kind of like roundabout coming back to the origins of Western society anyway, because the West is founded on pirates, thieves, scallywags, fucking any basically like land stealers and whatnot who just came along, slaughtered the original folk that were there and claimed it as their own. And that's kind of what's happening with art now in the digital sense. That's exactly what's going on, where they just collect everything that was there before that was far better, and they actually took talent, resilience, study, dedication. I could go on. And now they're just regurgitating it as their own. And having zero shame or even element of doubt as to what they're doing. I mean, the last thing we need AI for is to create art, basically. That's the last thing. In fact, I would argue that it would never be needed, essentially, until we actually got AI to a point where it can think for itself, to put it simply. And instead, we've just gathered up a load of fucking information that can pawn itself off as like a representation in largely a pretty idiotic way of artistic works of the past. So anyway, I'm not going to keep waffling about this because well, Kyle, it's good to see you, mate. Good to see you. There you go. Wow. Well, fair enough. I'll look into the diffusion element of it. But it feels like you still got my point. And I'm sure you agree to the yeah. I know I'm not wording it as articulately as I would like, because this is a fucking live stream, friend. So give me the benefit of the doubt. And to be honest, I couldn't really give a fuck about how AI puts these things together. I'm impressed by it. You know, if it doesn't sound like I am, there's an element of me, of course I'm impressed. It's quite remarkable. And there are elements to AI that even I use. You know, if I'm on Photoshop and I want the background removed, all I have to do is press a button. That in itself is a form of AI. But there's a difference, you know, between me having a convenience as opposed to just typing in bullshit. You know, and there are people out there paying for these services as well. That's the other thing. They pay for this stuff to create. And it's just like, I don't know. I think it's just another element of not only the dystopian reality of everything, but you're better off having no morals yourself, essentially, because if you have no compunction or quarrel with utilizing these apps for your own benefit, in the similar way to like if you use the fake live streaming template just to garner attention, then yeah, I mean these innovations and technologies are ripe for you. You know. Good luck with your narcissism, friend. I try. You know, surprisingly, I actually make a lot more sense when I'm waffling to myself. But, you know, I live for the day that everything will come out exactly how I want it to. But then again, you probably switch off and accuse me of being a bot. So, you can't win anymore. You really can't win. If I was researching this... Okay, I'm going to move on to something more important in a minute, because I do want to wrap this up reasonably soon. This topic for a cogent argument or for or against its existence. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's that's something left... Like, it matters. Like, I could debate against, like, why this shouldn't be the case. It's not going to make any difference, is it? That's one of the funnier things. I mean, maybe on a broader scale, that could be a good argument or debate to have. In terms of, you know, there's a lot of people out there complaining, and myself included, about like the ramifications and whatnot of this technology and things, or of how it's influenced and basically obliterated the concept of society as we know it. But at the same time, people have fallen hook, line and sinker for it. People love it, you know. They love having something to distract them. You know, I'm no better. Like, a lot of this stuff is very appealing, and you essentially you don't really need to even think that much anymore, which I guess is probably a blessing in some ways if used in the right way. But it's made, along with the free market kind of system, it's made literally everything a commodification, and whether it's fucking fake or not, it doesn't matter. If it sells, it sells. And because there's no limitation on it, for me, it feels like it's returned to the Wild West in terms of economic, basis. It just that's all it at least, especially online. And of course, it's affected. I mean, look how many dickheads have ADHD now, when really it's just because they're glued to TikTok 24/7. That's why they can't think properly, because they're so used to hyperstimulation that their brains are fucked. And yet, a dickhead like me could say that on a stream, and I'll get a stream of people going on, or a litany of folk saying, "Oh, you don't know anything about ADHD, how dare you," and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, there clearly is a correlation between the amount who have it now and when, lo and behold, social media started becoming one of the biggest, most powerful mediums on the planet. And yet we don't know enough about it to complain. So, anyway, let's listen to an incel. As if you're not already. Let's go.
Life has no meaning. No meaning whatsoever. We're here to die. I'm fresh out of high school.
Gotta say, that's a cracker of a beginning. Keep going.
Homeless. And I can tell you guys, there's no point to any of it. You go to college so you can waste your fucking life away to some corporation that doesn't give a fuck about you. or don't go to college and land an even shittier job that gives even less fucks about you.
Based.
There's no good way of life. There's no good path. There's no...
I have to admit that's something. I like how the little trees is like the main character of his video. Which I'm sure is inadvertent, but the framing is actually more focused on the little tree. It's like an advert. It's like an infomercial for fucking little trees. Anyway.
Perfect life. Nowhere even close. You trade your soul and your time for paper that you buy shit with to drown out the feelings of loneliness and sadness. You go to work, you make $100 grand.
Yeah,
$100
right.
grand goes to rent, food, fucking cars, just living, and spending money on shit.
So far, he said he's homeless, and he's just got out of high school, which he does look like he has. And yet he's in a car. He's got a car. This is what I don't understand this about America. Like, someone's got to explain it to me. He might be Canadian, but I'm assuming he's American. It's the same thing. But, you know, why is this so common? I don't understand it. It's like you all get given cars. I mean, I'm just jealous, but I don't get it. It's fucking too expensive.
What's the point?
Exactly.
None of this material shit will ever mean anything. Anything I work towards in my life will ultimately mean nothing.
It's like the black-pilled Holden Caulfield. Although, to be, you know, my disclaimer with these is like I'm going to be a dick most of the time, if not all of it. That's not, you know, I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm not shitting on this guy's pain unless he asks for it, essentially. But on the other front, if life had meaning and you knew it inherently, say we all were aware of a God that actually existed, there was a proof of it out there that had been ascertained and indoctrinated into all of us and whatnot, would that make life better? Knowing that you're just here to serve a higher power. You're a slave, essentially. Like, there's no escaping it. I mean, really, a lot of these complaints probably boil down to the biological slavery that we're all, you know, or that is beset upon all of us. Because, you know, you got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to fuck, or at least think about fucking, all of this kind of stuff. So in a sense, there's an inherent slavery to nature itself. But at the same time, if there was a supposed meaning to it, is that meaning going to be any better? I suppose is my question. Because I'm not sure it is. Especially given how often the concept of freedom comes up. It's like, do people want freedom? Because it seems to me that most don't. Wait. I was going to save this because I'm joining the e-smokers, I guess.
I don't see a life for myself where I'm happy. And that sucks. That sucks a lot.
Dude, you're like, what, 18? You're quite a good looking guy. You might be slightly short. And this is 2 years ago, by the way. So he is hoping that things have improved. But yeah, the Catcher in the Rye Act isn't going to help much in your day-to-day life, I would say.
I don't see any path, any way I could take. I have no family left. All of them are gone. Out of my life. Or missing. Nothing to keep me going. Nothing to inspire me. I'm living at my friend's house. Rent free. It's his parents' house. But I don't see a direction out of it. I got a job. Worked.
Okay, wait. Got a job. All right. The family thing kind of, yeah, that it's sad. I can't. It's hard to hear that, especially someone your age. I mean, at least you do have a friend with a family who take you in and let you live there. Because, I mean, that's more of a family than a lot of people get, if you know what I mean. But again, yeah, that must feel very isolating. But in the same vein, and just to play devil's advocate or whatever, if you had a family, that doesn't necessarily make the situation any better. Might even make it worse in some sense, because there's nothing more entrapping, probably not a word, or nothing will make you feel more stuck than a family unit, especially being one of the sons or daughters. And though I'm sure most would not wish the opposite or wish things were different, I'm not sure it brings about any more happiness. If this is what this is about, I mean, if it's more about the existential crisis of what it is to be a human, fine. But yeah.
For a week and I quit. Because I can't fucking do it, man. I can physically do it, but I can't mentally do it. Knowing that I'm giving myself to like a corporation that pays me shit. Just everything, man. I don't know if it's the way I was raised, the parents I've had, the experiences I've been subject to, but my brain is wired completely against authority. And if...
Wait, his parents are around now. I'm kind of confused. He does sound like Holden Caulfield. That's why people you need to read Catcher in the Rye. I mean, if there was one bit of advice I would give to a lot of these guys, just start reading more. I mean, I feel like a dick giving that as a piece of advice, but it does help. Never mind counselling and therapy and drugs or pharmaceutical bullshit that people will, like most of society will push. You just got to start reading more. You got to identify with other human beings who have, experienced the same thing, and for the most part come out of it and carried on and found something to grasp upon, I suppose, because it's all a cope, you know.
Fucks me sometimes, but it also gives me the ability to think and question. And I think and question everything that's told to me, and I realize it's all lies. Who the fuck put one human being in charge of another human being? When did that ever feel like a good idea? When did somebody decide that they, of all people, deserve to be at the top while everybody else deserved to be at the bottom? That's how it is to this day. The top 1% in the world, they control our lives. They give us everything around us. Everything that we see was decided by the top 1%. It's a world that...
He's running on the basis that there's a kind of plan to it all. Whilst I can agree with what he's saying to a certain extent, it doesn't really work like that. I mean, there is a hierarchy, as Jordan Peterson would say. Of course, like there is a dog-eat-dog element. Just look at our evolution, the way polygyny is rife amongst apes and gorillas and whatnot, or the simian variant of our species. But to think that it's all been kind of ordained or thought out is... I actually think it gives more of a compliment or credit to us as a species. I just think it comes about because of things that are far bigger than us, essentially. Like the massive impact, and I think the reason for a lot of these types of videos, or at least insights of these guys, which I don't disagree with. I felt exactly the same, and probably still do to a lot of extent. But my reaction to it isn't as beaten, because you don't have to play the game. You have to try and figure out your own way of dealing with it. And again, that might even be what the system wants me to think, you know, because it will eat me up regardless. But there are ways of just, you've got to kind of know the hand you're dealt and play it accordingly. And if that involves stepping away from it all, then fucking do it. Because there are as many lives to experience out there than there ever have been. And that's like 80 billion. Different ways of life, different ways of being, different ways of communicating, different ways of seeing the world, essentially, and honing in on what you don't have and what it seems like is controlled and blah blah blah. I mean, a lot of it kind of dumbs, or at least it comes down to in American History X, and you know, this Nazi guy or ex-Nazi guy is in there and he's seeing all the contradictions between the brothers and his white fucking nationalist friends and all this stuff. But then the guy who's just kind of counseling him and stuff, and it's like he's been there and he's a black guy, and he's basically the same kind of experience where he hates what he's seen and what the society he's been born into has done to, you know, his people and whatnot. But then he's asking, like, what have I done with my life that has actually made me happier, that has actually made me feel more content? And it's a simple thing or way of looking at stuff, but a lot of the time, simplicity is underrated, I would say.
They created for them to make the most money that they can. While we're stuck here, slaving our lives away for this check. But where does the check get us? Because by the next month it's gone. And then you get a new one. All of this just to live. You need so much money to do anything substantial, to actually change anything. Why do you think all these people around us are stuck working their shitty 9-to-5s? Because it takes...
I mean, saying it's blatant Jewish propaganda, I can see as amusing, but if there was ever... I mean, a lot of it can come down to propaganda, for sure, in any aspect. I can't give more respect to... I think the greatest... I don't want to say trick, but in a way it seems like that, because the Jewish people have somehow convinced themselves or us that they are a people, and yet at the same time a religion. So they've kind of crossed over. It's like they're both a race and a belief system, which is very clever if you, for longevity sense, if you make it out as if you're a chosen people or whatever you want to call it. You know, it's a way of blurring the kind of outlook, you know?
Money to get out of it, but they can't get out of it because all of their money is being spent. I'm lost. I'm like hopeless. Hopeless for anything better. How could it be? I smoke so much weed just to deal with my thoughts.
That's a contradiction in terms, dude.
Because I can't.
You smoke weed to blur your thoughts. The moment you start thinking that it's, especially a drug like weed, I would say, where because you're young, it kind of agrees with you a bit more, I would argue, at least from my experience. But yeah, I mean, if you've just got out of high school, you're probably 18, I guess, in the States, maybe 19. But your brain doesn't stop developing until 25. If I fucking knew that when I was younger, I don't think I would have touched weed, to be honest, because you're still trying to grow. And for guys especially, that's when the prefrontal cortex develops. Like in women, it's a lot quicker. But for us, it takes quite a long time. And we've been kind of, ironically, we've been screwed over by the very education system that the patriarchy came up with, where it secluded women originally, and yet the ironic part is that it actually favors them more because they socially develop a lot quicker. And yeah, with us, we take quite a while to do, and this part of the brain is integral to decision making, future planning, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're spliffing it up on a regular basis, you're basically reinforcing this lost kind of feeling, and it's something that you don't want to fuck with too much. And even especially so with weed or skunk, assuming that it's weed that's been tampered with or whatever, because yeah, it will just continue to recycle the very thoughts that it's apparently ironing out.
With them sober, they're too intense, so I gotta stay high. And the side effect of that has been, it's not even high anymore. And my cognitive ability, my memory, it's all suffered because of it. I can't remember what the fuck happened yesterday, or the day before, or the day before. I don't remember what happened last month.
Yeah, because it fucks with your short-term memory. Yeah.
I've just been coasting. I haven't been here. I haven't been present. Nothing feels real. And it's not just a weed saying that, bro. It's like everything. Nothing feels real. I'm sitting here in this Walmart parking lot, and all of these fucking drones and zombies are passing me by.
Well, I'm highlighting this because it's an interesting comment. And yeah, I mean, I've known dudes who, they're fine with weed. You know, some people, like, you got to know your own mind. You got to know what works for you. But again, I'd probably put that largely down to cognitive abilities to begin with. Some people have more brain cells to lose than others, put simply.
On their way home, so they can probably go get drunk in front of the TV so that they can fast forward tonight and then get back to work tomorrow and get back to slaving their lives away day in and day out. That's 90% of America, at least, that slaves their life away day in and day out. And if you choose to go against the grain, if you choose not to do that, then you're going to be homeless. You're going to surround yourself with shitty people that do shitty things. It's like there's no in between. There's no working for me, it's always working for you. That's all that anybody's ever interested in. That's all anybody is ever even capable of understanding. At least the majority. Call it blessed, call it gifted, but I have a free spirit. I see it as more of a harm, because then I'm confronted with these feelings all the time. These feelings of self-hatred. Because I know I'm not living my life to the fullest, but I don't know the fullest way to live it.
Excuse me. I was going to say something. Well, to me, yeah, it sounds like. I mean, I know how this guy feels. I think it's a shame he's thinking about this kind of stuff at his age, because I wonder why. Yeah, he's not more concerned with the opposite sex, for instance, but the things he's saying almost point to the solution, or at least the answer. If he hates the society he's in, which he probably should, he should look into actually just going somewhere completely different to just experience life anew. Whether that's for fucking a couple of weeks or a few months. Get the fuck out of your area. Escape it. And go from there. I mean, thing is, a lot of the time it's like complaining about existing and how pointless it is and blah blah blah, and that's fine. I get it, because yeah, it's tough, and there are no answers. You're just here, but the answer is the fact that you're already here. You just have to make the best of it while you're alive, and then what does it matter? It doesn't matter in the end, but it's a blessing. It's a good thing, really. Because, yeah, you think you're tired and fucking pissed off now? Wait until you're 38. It gets worse.
If I did, I wouldn't still be crashing on my friend's couch in my beat the fuck up Honda Civic. It's gonna shit out on me any day, and then I'm really fucked. It's impossible to get ahead in this world. I could have $1,000 today, and then next month it'll be gone. Because something always comes up. A flat tire.
Motherfucker, you got a car. That's expensive. Get rid of the car.
Fucking living is expensive as shit. Even not even paying rent, it's expensive. All of my money just goes to living. Every single penny I get. I don't spend shit on myself. I don't spend shit for myself. It's just living. I work DoorDash just so I don't have to be around anybody. Don't have to deal with anybody. Just so I can live. And there's no progression in this. There's nowhere to go. No incentives, nothing. It's a dead end. Just like everything else. Life is a dead end. No matter what you do in your life, it will always come to an end, and at some point you will be forgotten forever. At least in this world. I've been thinking and questioning a lot about what's after this world. What comes after life. And it's getting to the point where I don't even want to live anymore.
Well, yeah. Why would you want to? I mean, yeah, of course, that sense of like, you know, you're not going to exist and all of that brings about a lot of anxiety and whatnot. And it is sad, but at the same time, imagine knowing that you could or you will live forever, whatever that even means. That's a version of hell, basically, because that makes it even more meaningless. That means no matter what you do, you could be a fucking serial rapist murderer or a geeky fucking virgin whatever. You could, it doesn't, no matter what path you choose, you're going to continue living. That's Sisyphus. You're constantly pushing the rock up the hill. And it's more about just experiencing it for the fact that existence itself has granted you that. I'm not going to call it a gift, although I'd be loath to say that it's not that in a weird way. But it just is. It is what it fucking is, and you either roll with it or you just bow out. There's no in between. All of this kind of stuff is like, yeah, it's good to think about and it's good to contemplate and all of that bollocks, but I think you just got to flip the perspective a little bit. It's a blessing that you're not going to live forever, and it's a blessing, I would argue, that you're going to be forgotten, because what does it matter? And whatever this is, the mysteriousness and the mystical element of it is enough, I would argue. But again, this is a delusion, and we are designed to be deluded. But even that could be seen as a blessing.
It's something like I've battled with for so long, back and forth of wanting to live and then not wanting to live. Wanting to give up and then getting this spark under my ass to make something happen. I know after I record this and post this, probably in a week I'll fucking change my mind. I probably won't feel suicidal anymore. I'll probably have some kind of motivation for something. But it always comes back to this. Every single time. Every single time it comes back to this.
It's because boredom is the meaning of life.
I don't want to live if I'm not even living. I don't want to go to college. Because college would probably be fun. Getting drunk all the time. Fucking bitches. Doing schoolwork, I guess. Meeting people. College seems great, but it's what comes after college. It seems like the fucking opposite of great. The next 60 years of your life. How are you going to spend the following 40 to 60 years of your life after college. You're probably going to be working for the majority of it. Probably won't have any breaks. It's going to be...
Dude, you got to realize the grift. It's all a grift. Like, you got to make of it what you will. Don't get stuck in a rut. If you are in a difficult position, in the job market or in the relationship situation, whatever it fucking is, there is a way out. Live minimally, because as you've already stated, like, you're working all the time just to buy bullshit or whatever. Reduce what you need. You don't need a Honda fucking car, for instance, or even a vehicle of itself. That could be something you could just erase it. You don't need it. You've already got the license and whatnot. Just go without. Probably more difficult than I imagine it is living in the States or whatever. But those are things that will cost you fucking money. And if money is the issue, you have to reduce the amount you really need. But I don't know. I mean, this guy's very young. He should be chasing pussy. And that's it. But yeah.
Boring. It's going to be pointless. It's going to be monotonous. Aggravating. Work will never give anybody any sense or any sort of fulfillment unless they were lucky enough to know what they wanted to do from an early age. I mean, like, no matter how much I think, no matter how much I research, no matter how much time I spend on this topic, I have no godly idea of what my direction is, what my purpose is, what anything is. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next step is. And it's got me so fucking miserable. Miserable beyond recognition. Beyond... I don't think I said that right.
Football.
I don't know, man. Nobody's even finna see this. Maybe like 2 people. Maybe. Probably start posting these often. Because I need some kind of outlet, some kind of place I can put my energy into. I'd love to make YouTube videos. I'd love to be a YouTuber. That's my real fucking passion. That's my real dream. To make money off of just talking about what's on my mind.
He answered his own fucking question. And yet, yeah, I mean, some of you might remember, this guy's only released like 2 vids. Don't be a fucking pussy. At least go for it. And this video got a fair amount of views for someone who only has like no channel. The fuck, man.
So I'm just gonna start posting videos and see how it goes. I'm not finna edit this shit because I'm lazy and I don't have a computer or anything to edit on. And if I get down to it and I really try to edit it on my phone or something, I'm just gonna give up. I'm gonna watch this back and I'm gonna be like, this is stupid. I'm not posting this. But I'm gonna post it before I watch it back. Just to get it out there. Because I've recorded videos in the past and then as soon as I try to edit them, I fucking delete them. Because I'm like, nah. I second guess everything. Every decision I make. I can never make up my mind.
Yes, because you smoke weed all the time, dude.
It leaves me paralyzed. Like I can't even make the simplest of decisions.
Reduce it down.
anybody's watching at this point, which why are you watching? But I'm just assuming you are.
I was wondering that myself.
What are your thoughts? Write them in the comments. I'll look at them. Just let me know if anybody deals with any of the same kind of thing.
Got another 3 minutes.
Same kind of feelings.
Get on with it, man.
Because I can tell you I'm fucking tired of them. I want to give up on it daily. And like I said, bro, the weed is the only thing that does anything for that.
For £10, you may.
I drank today. I drank some alcohol, and that got me down. Kind of grounded me almost. Made me realize, like, really what the fuck I'm doing. Wasting all my money and weed, or money and fucking energy on smoking weed, just so I can feel calm. It's like the higher I am, the more myself I am, and I don't like that. But at the same time, I can't really get off of it, because then all the anxiety comes, and the fucking depression, the paralyzation, everything. So much shit on my mind. Like I can't even. What the fuck? What is that noise? Is it my car? That's what I'm saying. It just makes fucking noises. It's just like I don't even know. Like what the fuck is that noise? Is it gonna break? Is it gonna break tomorrow? Who knows? All I do know is that I'm not fucking with it. I'm not with anything. That didn't make any sense. Shit. My mind is just like a fucking jumbled mess. And I don't even know where to start. But fuck it. I guess that's the video. I'll give y'all an update if you want. I mean, I will anyways. Nobody's asking for it. But I'm gonna do it anyways. I'll let y'all know when something changes. I need to start making these videos anyways.
No, dude, you need to start playing fucking an instrument or something. That would be better. Do that. Do something that actually you have to commit to. Making videos, believe me, is a piece of piss. You don't even have to try. That's the thing. Like bitching about AI earlier. Like doing this shit isn't. It's nothing. It's like you've got a gadget where you can just press a button and do it. Learn to fucking dedicate yourself to something that matters to you. Otherwise, yeah, lay down and rot, I suppose.
I keep saying YouTube is like what I want to do with my life, and so I should probably just start posting now. But anyways, it's been real. Thank you guys for listening, I guess. Oh, I need an oil change. That's what I needed to do. Another $40 down the drain just to live. But anyways, y'all keep it real, keep it safe. Don't be like me. Don't leave your family and everybody you love for the chance of something better, I guess.
Oh, so he's the one who
Unless
left the
you want
family.
to, then who gives a fuck? Nobody. Anyways, peace out. Y'all stay safe.
Okay. Well, I hope he's doing all right. He started the video and he made out as if he was homeless and the family was gone. And then right at the end, he confesses that he actually was the one who left them. Fuck me. The whole thing was bullshit. Fucking hell. These fucking arseholes answer their own questions in their own videos that they can't be bothered to edit because they know if they watch them back, they're going to see the contradictions in their character. It's like, it's no wonder that a lot of these dudes end up in therapy against their will. It's because they haven't listened to themselves. Fucking, what the fuck? But I mean, I think that guy was, or at least for the first 10 minutes or so, mildly relatable, especially from an adolescent perspective. But that end of it was like, he was basically, I think one of the major problems, especially when it comes to these vids, is you are answering a lot of your own problems or questions. You just need to watch back what you're doing and then analyze it. Put it out there if you don't care, or if it, you know, makes no difference in the long run, whatever you want to say. But don't pretend that it's all to do with wanting to get your thoughts out there just to see how other people relate to it, because it's got nothing to fucking do with that. That's just a bonus. That's something that well, you need to say these days because it's the norm. That's the only way you can be accepted socially, because everyone's just bawling their eyes out or spilling their guts on a video that will be as forgotten as what you're going on about in the video, I suppose. It's it's kind of strange to listen to, but there we go. I've watched the first 5 or so minutes of that, and I thought, okay, this is gonna be juicy, and then it got a little bit too, I don't want to say self-indulgent, because obviously that's what it is anyway, but yeah, it didn't exactly pan out how I planned it. Anyway, that's it from me. I've already fucking gone way over my original plan. And so, with no new donations, I'm done. Oh, that's coming. That's coming for sure. You know, don't worry about that. It's on the agenda. But yeah, it's been fun. More fun than I actually anticipated. Thanks for everyone's donations. It's very kind of you. And what else can I say really at this point? I'll see you soon. I'll see you next fucking week. If any of you do have Intel My Ride recommendations, let me know. And until then, take it easy. Have a good weekend. Look after yourselves. Don't dwell on your thoughts too much, because your thoughts are bullshit. Act against them, essentially. Like, if you're constantly recycling the same thoughts, and you're still miserable, maybe they're not working out for you. You know, that's all I can really say. Keep going. The world is shit nowadays. That's true. But just try and create your own little world that is nicer, because that's what people did in the past. The problem was it was provided to them because you didn't have access to all this bullshit. Cut out the bullshit then. You don't need to know about what this dickhead in South America or Korea or whatever is doing. It doesn't matter. Totally non-related to you. Don't make a YouTube video, basically. I think that's my main advice. I'll see you soon. Quick last check. No spin the wheel to finish it off? No. Alright, I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, until next week. Where the fuck are the end? Same end credits as last week, by the way, so you don't need to hang around.